Hi, I'm Christian Long. I co-directed this segment Fur Babies for VHS Beyond.
My name is Virat Pal. I directed the Dream Girl segment in VHS Beyond.
Hi, I'm Kate Siegel. I directed the Stowaway segment of VHS Beyond.
Cheel. I directed the rap segment.
I'm Justin Martinez. I'm here for VHS Beyond. My segment is Live and Let Dive.
My name is Jordan Downey. I'm here with VHS Beyond.
My experience with video stores was there was a Blockbuster Video in Travilla Square in Rockville, Maryland, where I grew up. And my sister and I would go with my dad, and we would browse the aisles, and we'd all have to pick out one VHS tape, and we'd reconvene by the popcorn, like the microwave popcorn stand, and we'd each have to explain why our movie was the right choice for that weekend. And it was always like a real debate about where we were gonna go. And I, 9 times out of 10, chose Beetlejuice, just because it's a great freaking movie, and I loved all the fashion and like the design and the jokes and the fear and all the practical effects.
The memory, the wonderful memory of having that be part of my childhood, the tradition of going to Media Wave, shout out, Fairfield, Connecticut. And that was just a weekly tradition. It's something I miss a lot because it doesn't exist anymore, obviously.
We had very few limited sort of video rental stores in Delhi. It was kind of expensive to rent videos. I think they rented Silence of the Lambs, and we all watched it like in 98 or 99. It was terrifying. I think they rented Silence of the Lambs, and I think later on The Sixth Sense when it came on video. And we were big fans of M. Night Shyamalan, and that movie had not come there. I'm a huge fan of video stores. I kind of miss them. Just walking through those aisles, seeing the covers.
I worked at a video store, so there's lots of stories there, but when I was probably 10, me and my cousin went to Video Flicks in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada, and rented, I don't know what we were thinking, we rented Mississippi Burning, which is like the movie about the KKK and like Gene Hackman. And so we rented Mississippi Burning. We went to the arcade, played like Street Fighter 2, and I put Mississippi Burning on the arcade machine, and we got back. I don't know how this happens, but we're like, where's Mississippi Burning? And we lost it. We had to pay for it. And that was when it was like, $100 to replace a cassette. I eventually did see Mississippi Burning, and it was great.
I mean, I remember going to Blockbuster, like that was like a weekly experience for us to get movies. But I have this strangest non-video story. I don't know how old I was, but on the street, some dude sold us VHS copies of Jurassic Park, The Crow, that had like printed covers that like clearly were not real, but we bought them and we took them home to see if they would work. And sure enough, they were like recordings of Jurassic Park in some other country with subtitles at the bottom. That's my bootleg experience with VHS.
I remember I was a big fan of the Critters movies, and Critters 3 ends with "to be continued." And I didn't know what that meant at the time, but I was waiting, and then my dad had to explain, well, it means that there's going to be a 4th one. And I had to wait a year for that. And when that thing came out, it was all checked out of Blockbuster and everything. So I was driving all over town to find this thing and finally put a hold on it for Critters 4 at Purple Cow Video in Heath, Ohio. That took me a long time to finally track that copy down, but I remember that very vividly. Ritual would have just, I suppose, been making a beeline for the horror section. I mean, I didn't buy the popcorn and the candy, the register, that was too expensive, but I just spend as much time finding things. And eventually then, when you're a little older in high school and college, the goal being to find the worst movie you could possibly find at the video rental store became a ritual. I mean, there's like fun bad, and then there's just like bad. And usually the bad was like in the for sale bins, I feel like at the front, especially if like the Blockbuster was closing down and you get those things for 99 cents. There isn't any one specific thing that I want to diss on here.